Hey everybody, Matt DeYoung here, and in this video I want to talk to you about something that might be kind of surprising, or maybe you've thought of it this way, and that is how to make a business out of an oddball skill. So one thing that I find is very common when I talk to people about starting a business, let's just say to supplement their income. So it's not like you're trying to be uber successful and launch the next, multi-billion-dollar app or software site. It's nothing like that. It's basically just, look, I want to be at home with my kids more, I want to be able to take the vacation I want, or I want to be able to pay off debt. All of the reasons that I got interested initially in internet marketing and put a business online. So let's just talk about one business model, because I think, I'll talk more about it in a different video, but basically let's just talk about creating a course, because anybody can teach somebody something that they know. And I think one of the things about just starting an online business and teaching an online course is a lot of people say, I really have nothing to offer. And I don't think that's true. And I want to just challenge you, because I've been reading this book and I highly recommend it. So it's called We're All Weird. We're All Weird, The Rise of Tribes and the End of the Normal by Seth Godin. You can see it's like really super small. It's a total read of about 97 pages. I was going to say 100. I guess I was pretty close. So 100 pages, just under 100 pages, you can get this point. So we're all weird, and basically why that's good. So anybody can turn a business, turn an oddball skill or an oddball interest into a business, and it's actually the best time ever. I'd like to spend a couple of videos talking about that. And this one I want to talk about what Seth Godin has to say. If you don't know Seth Godin, go Google him, go look him up. It won't take you long to get really addicted and excited as I am about his content. So I just want to share this one thing, and I'll have to take a screenshot and show you guys later. But inside the book, this is about page 48, there's a little bell curve. You see that here? This little bell curve? So basically the middle of the curve, if you're not familiar with this kind of diagram, the middle of the curve, I know it's probably out of focus, but the middle of the curve is the average. So this is like what everybody generally likes, that really thick part there. And then on either side you have kind of the extremes. So in statistics they talk about the standard deviation, like how far away from the middle of this curve. Maybe you remember this from school, like they grade on a bell curve. So how many deviations or differences between the average. And what I want to point out is that basically what he's showing, and again I'll have to put this later on the screenshot, what he's showing is that this middle, this normal, this one choice is really pushing its way out to the edges. And why is that important for you? Why are that important for you? So here's like the old version, which you can see that the middle is really, really thick as people only have one choice. But now, if I turn the page, there's a ton of choices. So this weirdness, this really extreme deviation from or difference from the norm, either on the top or the bottom, it starts to really squished out. So what I thought was interesting is the middle is getting smaller, which pushes out the sides. So I know I'm like, what am I trying to say? What's my point here? What I'm trying to say is I'm sharing a point from this book about We're All Weird from Seth Godin. And what his case is, what his premise of the book is, that because of choice, because of internet, because of all these technologies, we're not settling for the norm. So let's just make this real. So remember, at one point, there's only radio as a means of communication. So you have to pretty much listen to what's on the radio. And then at some point, there's TV, but there's only so many stations, so you have to kind of watch what's on those stations. So it was harder to get a TV show, let's say, onto a TV broadcast medium and industry that doesn't have many choices, right? So the ones that do get on there are very popular because there's really only so many channels for us to all watch. But as cable TV shows up a little while later, I'm going back in time now, choice changes. And it changes at some, but the dramatic change was recently the cable television stations are dealing with people cutting the cord, and they don't want cable anymore. They're just going to watch whatever they want, and they're going to binge watch it, a bunch of shows right in a row. on Netflix, or they're going to watch Hulu, or they're going to get on their tablet, they're going to get on their iPhone, they're going to watch it from a computer. I mean, honestly, we don't really turn on the TV at home anymore. And why is that? Because I don't really like a lot of what's on TV, or I just find it just wastes my time. Instead of watching the show, I'm going to DVR it, I'm going to skip through almost all the commercials. And the fact is, I live in a city outside of Chicago, and there's not a lot of choices here, but I have tremendous choice online. So there's not a lot of entrepreneurship incubation here, but I can find that online. I can find whatever course I want about business, about home improvement. I can find anything. So what does that mean for you? What I'm getting at is there's never been a better time to take something that's oddball of yours and put it online, because if there's people who, I'm just totally making this up. There's people who know how to grow a garden, and they figured out how to do that in the city. And there's other people in other cities who want to grow organic gardens as like a neighborhood garden. That doesn't seem like it's something that people would want to know, but they do. Let's say another example. Let's say you homeschool right now. That seems like very oddball. Like in your community, in your city, in your town, in your neighborhood, not that many people want to know about it. But if you were to put how to run a successful homeschool, how to teach your own kids from home, and you gave them information and a system and an experience and an assistance in that sort of oddball type technique, other people around you think it's odd, but Seth Godin calls them tribes. There's certain people that want to congregate around a given subject, around a given interest, around a given commonality, and they're going to come together online. They're going to come together around the fact that they can choose to be around like-minded people. That's what we want to do as humans anyway, is be around like-minded people. But we also want to get results in life. We also want to get unstuck. And so we're going to go online and say, who knows about this? And if you can just share your experience, if you're willing to do that, if you're willing to share your experience and you're willing to not overlook any kind of oddball people around you would consider them to be odd, you feel a little different with what you know. You're kind of the only one that looks into that subject. You research a lot, you read books a lot, you watch videos online about it, you bought courses on it, you'll go to the local college about it, you talk to friends about it. I mean, you're just obsessed about this subject because it's something you want to see happen in your life, or it's something you want to know more about. You might consider it odd, but don't overlook it, because it's really the best time to use an oddball, weird experience and interest that you have. As esoteric as it may be, somebody somewhere likes what you're passionate about. So if Seth Godin is pointing this out as the fact that normal doesn't exist anymore, weird is where it's at, and the biggest mistake that Seth Godin sees is big companies not acknowledging the fact that people are going to move to the sides and not just be so average. They're going to move to the sides and be around the weirdness or the oddball type thing. So that's just me letting you know it's a great book. Pick it up. We're All Weird, from Seth Godin, The Rise of Tribes and the End of Normal. Normal is just going away as the average flattens out and choices move to the side, and we all move to the side. We're not choosing cable anymore. We're choosing instead Netflix and Hulu, and the same thing online. People want to know more about what you know, as oddball as you might think of it. Don't overlook it. So that's my challenge to you today. If you would, download this guide I've been handing out, give me some feedback below, and I'm going to see you in the next video.